Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are we live? It's always a dilemma. Plus, I haven't done one of these in a little bit. So let me know if you're hearing me. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So we got what, 3 minutes here? And audio's okay. Everything's okay. It sounds like. So, yeah, Darren, that video I've had. It's funny because the video I just made about the subscription for Full Self Driving has like some of the lowest views I've had, but some of the most comments. So it's really funny. It's definitely very, very polarized idea. And I totally understand the people that are, I think I'm wrong on that. So, which is fun. It's fine. Da, 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 da. Yeah, well, I'll talk about the price on this. One of the things I probably don't want to. I'm trying to wait until 6:30 before I start talking about Cyberlandr stuff. I did just take part of the reason. So I was going to start doing more videos, but then I actually took kind of an extended trip out to Arizona where I did some wild camping in primitive areas, and tried to do some tried to do some off-roading with the Tundra. And I actually made a video about that, but it's so long that I didn't want to post it because it's not of actual for off-roading because it was such a miserable experience in the Tundra that we didn't do very much of it. But I was thinking a lot about the camping side. I was thinking about the Cybertruck on my whole trip. I couldn't believe it. I haven't thought about the Cybertruck that much since probably I started this channel, because I was using the truck every day and I was camping and I was doing stuff. So I have a lot of thoughts about the Cyberlandr concept, and also just generally speaking about the, kind of adventure camping. And I haven't done as much as some people. A lot of people have done a lot more wild camping than I have, but I do enough of it that's a big part of the equation of why I'm so excited about the Cybertruck in particular. What? Oh, okay. I was like, my audio's gone? It's showing like the little bar, whatever that's called, the indicator thing that shows that I have volume is showing that it's working. So good. Yeah, available in UK. Well, I don't even know if the Cybertruck's going to be available in UK. So I would say that would be it'd be very optimistic. All right, 6:31. Okay, so I think the best way to do this, I didn't want this to be a super long video, but what I want to do is I'm going to go through the Cyberlandr video here. I'm pretty much going to go through it like uninterrupted, and well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's just turn it on and see. Let me make sure the audio doesn't really matter, but hopefully you'll get the audio on this. Let me see. Are you getting any audio? It doesn't matter. We'll just. So, okay. Hold on. I can't just let this go. Okay. So the very first thing I want to say is kudos to whoever did this. And I'm going to call it a concept right now because to me, that's what it is. It's a concept. I don't know the details about the company that's doing this. So let me start over. In light of recent revelations about companies like Nikola and Lordstown, I have become increasingly reticent about getting excited about CGI rendered ideas. So I want to believe that this is a legit company and this is a legit design and that all that stuff. But at this point, the website is really sparse as far as what I can't even figure out who's making this, who the designers are, who the manufacturers are, what their experience is. So I'm going to say that I'm going to approach this from the standpoint that this is a concept, and I'm going to reserve anything outside of this as a concept, for now, because there's been too many burns in the EV community at this point that I don't want to treat this like it's actually really going to happen. Subject to, we'll see what unfolds. But I can tell you that I've spent a lot of time looking at adventure camping options that go in the back of pickups or that are towable, and they're pretty much not even considered legit until there's at least a functioning prototype. Like I wouldn't, that's my thinking is I need to see a functioning prototype before I get too excited about this. But all that being said, conceptually, I'm excited about this for a number of reasons. So first of all, if you're not really into overlanding and off-roading, the concept of like an unfolding or expanding camper is not new. This is the first time I've seen anybody try and do 4 levels. Most of the ones where I've seen are 2 levels. So I'm questioning the amount of space it will take to house all the mechanisms that go into expanding and contracting and the walls and how much space you'll actually lose in that process. But conceptually, something like this is feasible and really interesting to me. So let's just keep going. Okay, so there's a lot that I like about this. There's a lot I like about this if they can actually pull it off. So the first thing is that, they'll get to this in a second, but they have a really clever way of solving the sleeping issue in this. But the fact that this actually has both running water and a shower and a toilet in this space it's kind of unbelievable. Now, I don't mean unbelievable that it's not possible to do, but most of the other companies that do this kind of concept, they have they use like soft fabrics. They don't have these hard surfaces. And so, but I really, really like the idea that they're including this, because when you go adventure camping, the thing that actually what you miss the most is showering, or what I miss the most is showers, and they actually have that. So I'll show that here in a second, but this is super cool. So this is I really think this is fascinating how they used removable chairs. From a design standpoint, really clever. I've never seen anything like this, but should work. Okay, so now, if they can really do hard surface for interlocking, stackable, you get a hard shower. And all the other adventure campers that I've seen that do this stacking thing, they have this, it's kind of weird where the bottom part, you have the toilet and the plumbing for the shower, but then the rest of it is kind of canvas as a sort of like an open air thing with a shower curtain around it. This is really clever if you could get this kind of hot quality of a bathroom in this space. I mean, from a space-wise, yeah, this is really, really inventive. Hold on, I want to go back a second there on that. That was... Okay, so let's see here. So from a 3D standpoint, here's your little kitchen, desk, bed area. I'm really curious about how long this is here because the bed is 6.5 feet. So maybe it has those stats somewhere, how long that bed is. Because if it's not at least 6'2", I think that's going to be uncomfortable for a person like me. But yeah, I mean, space wise, looks like it could work. Okay. And then it's got the solar top and okay. So let's see here. Let's look. Well, here is so someone said if you could get it for 12K. So here's what I can tell you about these types of, I'll call them like origami type campers. They're expensive. They're expensive. When you would think that there would be a correlation between the size of the camper and the price you pay, but actually that's not really true. What you find is that a lot of these micro camping campers that try and put a lot of stuff in a small space and they use things like stacking and folding in order to get there, they're pretty pricey. There's a man, let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Is it called God, I can't remember what it's called. I might have to do a follow up on this, but there's a camper for my Tacoma that's just a shell, and then it's got a hinged top that unfolds like this into this large tent. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. And that's it. That's all it is. A shell and a tent that unfolds. And it's like $9,000. So there's no way you're going to get a camper that has a shower and a stove and unfolds and all that. In fact, I actually think the price, $45,000, that's where the market is for something like that. Nice campers that go like in a pickup truck, they start at $25,000 and they go up from there. So this is par for the course. So the price part doesn't actually surprise me at all, which is one of the big problems. So let's see if we can look at some of the stuff on there. Let's look at here, specs. So dry weight, yeah, that's all good. 500 watts. Okay, one of the things I was going to cover in this video that I messed around with was I've never done anything with solar. So actually for this camping trip I just went on, I actually bought a 300 watt solar panel and a little portable fridge and started messing around with doing solar so I could start thinking about, okay, how practical is it would it be to recharge the Cybertruck battery with solar? And I got to do a little more research on it, but I will say at this point, I think it's way more practical than I thought originally with the state of portable solar and the cost curve of solar. But there's some components that connecting it all together make it a little bit tricky. But the point of that is 500 watts for a little camper like that. I can't imagine you'd actually, unless you're running air conditioning, that's going to be plenty to charge the camper and use, heat water, run TVs, run all that other stuff. That's plenty. So I'm puzzled by this. What is this? A 20 kilowatt hour battery? This I hadn't seen that before. This makes me now really skeptical about this price because, man, a Powerwall is 7.5 kilowatt hours, and those are like $8,000. And just super basic lithium iron phosphate battery cells that you can buy for like home solar, those are anywhere from $600 to $1,000 per kilowatt hour. So I'm really not sure. This is really, I don't know. I would welcome whoever is the manufacturer, designer of this. I would love to interview you and find out and tell your story to the Cybertruck community. But right now, the fact that we haven't seen anything but this render, it makes me nervous. But conceptually, it's pretty cool. They've obviously put some time into this. Now, somewhere I saw that someone said that they had patents, so I went to the Google patent search and I put in at least Cyberlandr. I couldn't find any patents in there. Now they probably filed it under a different name, so that doesn't really mean anything. But there's just, I don't know enough about it right now. But here's what I really like about this. First of all, whoever did this, they put a lot of energy into it. This is not just, I mean, there's a lot of time and energy that went into designing this concept. And for me, my big takeaway is that this is the first of many. I think you're going to see concepts like this that increasingly become more and more where we start actually seeing functioning prototypes for the Cybertruck, because what the Cybertruck does that is different is that it provides that power system and battery pack for the camper and 3,500 pounds of payload. So I think that adventure camper designers are really going to get into this. Now, I would really have had a lot more comfort with this concept if it was being built by somebody that had existing camper experience, because one of the challenges, and you see this a lot with low production run adventure campers, is that there can be a lot of things that go wrong with them because you're taking them out into, you're not just camping at a campground with these, you're taking them out into the elements, you're off-roading with them. I mean, you're really putting them through some abuse. And so you really start having some anxiety about durability issues with campers in this environment. So it would make me feel a lot better if this was coming, a concept like this was coming from an existing manufacturer. But that being said, I think it's an awesome start to integrating a camper with the Cybertruck, and I think it's going to be the first of many. And I'm excited. And if you see this video and you're from Cyberlandr and you are open to having a conversation about this and talking about some of these concerns, well, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to chat with you. So, okay. Let's see. The power wall is 13.5 kilowatt hours. Well, okay, but still, I mean, they're saying 20 kilowatt hours. And what's a power wall going for now? 8,000, 8,500? I don't know. It's not something I really paid that much attention to. All right, let me just go through and look at questions. Yeah, you're right. Let's see. I couldn't make it. I couldn't not interrupt. So let's see. Yeah. Well, the thinness is what really concern. The thinness is, that's where I'm most questioning this design, is how little structural thickness there is to these panels. And from my experience, anytime you start getting into folding stuff, they're actually kind of bulky because there has to be a gap that allows for travel for these things to move up and down. And I don't know, like, no one's done anything like this before. So that does make me slightly worried. Let's see. Yeah, Salio, that's right. Yeah. Well, Gladiator trailers for off-roading. I mean, yeah, all the off-roading trailers. Off-roading trailers, the serious off-roading trailers, which, by the way, that was one thing I was going to mention, is we'll see. I was going to throw this out to the community, which is I might try and get to the Overland Expo this year, which is where all the overlanding, like the people with the coolest prototypes for this kind of application, that's where they go, is Overland Expo. And so I was thinking about trying to maybe get out to that. And if so, one of my goals is I really want to start trying to have conversations with aftermarket companies about Cybertruck because it is so different than everything else. And so people are going to have to think about how to design around the sail pillars. Let's see. Well, I'm wondering, Salil, if the range loss, if they're thinking they can pair a battery system to the Cybertruck, they could offset the range loss. And I don't know how they even know what the range loss would be because we don't know what the weight of the Cybertruck itself is. There's a lot of things that, question marks. I would think it would be a whole lot less than putting a regular pop-up camper or towing a camper would be, so for sure. Wait, let's see here. Question. No, the battery isn't by plugging into the Cybertruck because it says it has a 20 kilo. It's actually they're indicating there's a separate battery here. Because why would you say 20 kilowatt plus? I mean, certainly if the Cybertruck only has a 20 kilowatt hour plus battery and it can get 300 miles of range, then Tesla's just figured out how to do magic. So I'm pretty sure it's separate. Yeah, Salil, the stairs actually it's a real common for campers. I mean, I think it's nice, but there's a lot of companies that do. If you can visualize the hitch, will be right here at the bumper. There's a lot of companies that do steps that extend out for step up. They do that come out from the hitch. So the stairs thing, I mean, it's nice, but I'd be fine if there was just a hitch mounted stair and actually that construction, I really worry about durability. Regular stairs with reinforced on both sides, they frequently get tore up on campers. Yeah, how are they going to support it? I don't know. I don't want to be too critical. Here's why I don't want to be like, oh, it's another Nikola. I'm being cautious. I'm calling it a concept. I don't want to go in. Look, whoever did this, they put a lot of time into this. And I want to encourage people to do this. I don't want to assume that just because they have a bold or ambitious design that they're automatically another Nikola or, Lordstown or something like that. Because again, there's way more camper companies than there are EV companies. It's way less complicated to build a camper than to build state-of-the-art electric vehicle. And this world, this off-road niche camper world, is full of small companies that are doing 200, 300, 50 campers. There's a really cool company called like Kimco that he does little sliding campers for Tacomas out of aircraft grade aluminum. Super cool. And it's legit. He's like an engineering student that got together with his buddies and they're building it, but they're like building 2 a month or 3 a month. This world, this off-road camping world is full of little creative craftsman type companies like that. So I would not let the size of the company that to me is not the deal killer. It's really like, I want to see it. I want to see a functioning prototype. Like, show me a functioning prototype and I'll be much more open. Let's see. It is not, someone said something about this being too glam. No. Now I wish I would have got there's some adventure trailer companies, especially there's some guys that do these. Australia has a way more developed off-road camper community that's now making its way over to the States. But there's some $100,000, like they look like the inside of a Ritz Carlton off-road camping trailers. Oh, there's a company. I'll show you right now. There's a company called Black Series. This is an off-road camper company so they do these are seriously capable off-road campers, but if you look at, let me see if okay, so look at the interior. So there is definitely a market for high-end finish off-road campers. And I think this for this whole camper, I think is like 70 grand. But that's just saying it's not glam and adventure and overlanding are not necessarily two totally separate things, especially for a lot of people. Like for a lot of couples, the guy is really into off-roading, but the gal is kind of, ambivalent about it. If she has to be in sort of, I know I'm generalizing and I'm stereotyping, I'm sorry, in this current world, but I'm just saying from my experience, it's generally the guys that are willing to put up with all the crappy stuff. And then if they want to bring their significant other along, they need to sort of up the game. And so actually a nice finished adventure camper goes a long way towards happy off-grid camping trips. What about, let's see here. Well, Nathaniel wouldn't give it an 8-foot bed because some of that space is consumed with the shower. So when you look at, that's what I was looking at when I was looking at their, see, this space right here is the shower space. So the bed area is right here. And so that's kind of most optimistically 6.5 feet. Well, I was going to try and fill out the media access form, but I don't have a website. I went over there and I looked at it and I don't have a publication. I guess I could put my channel. I don't have a website and it's required. I don't know. So, that's why I kind of was like, well, I don't know what to put there. And it's a required field. So I either have to put a fake one there or yeah, whatever. I mean, I didn't get, too much into this as far as I'm not too excited about this until there's like a real person and there's a real prototype. Until then, I just feel like, okay, really cool concept, but probably don't get too excited about it. Oh yeah, I guess I could put my YouTube channel URL. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Good thought. All right. No. Well, yeah, I wasn't thinking about my YouTube channel URL because it's just like XZZPQ. I don't know what it is. It's just some, randomly. It doesn't have my actual name in it, but that's a good idea. I'll do that. Okay. Well, that was it. I was thinking this was going to be like a 15-minute video. So, that's all I have for that. And, yeah, I don't think there's too much there. If you were making something like this, oh Lord, Darren, I'm not a manufacturer. I plow snow. That's what I do. I don't design things. I'm not an engineer. I know. I would say that what I think. Okay, so what I think is probably going to be most successful with the Cybertruck is I think that. So first of all, I actually think that the Cybertruck bed itself will be a very capable camping environment. And personally, my plan is actually to sleep in the Cybertruck bed if it has environmental controls. And then actually to have, here's the thing, where the places where I camp in primitive areas, space is not a problem. And I like to kind of spread out. So what I would do is I have, like pop-up tents and canopies. I would just I would spend and I spend most of my time outdoors. When I go outdoors, I want to be outdoors. I don't want to be in a camper. So, for me personally, I'm much more interested in accessories that can go with the Cybertruck that can solve the problems, like something that allows me to do a hot water on demand shower that can go from the Cybertruck, and a lot of these campers, teardrop campers that are using off-roading, they do outdoor showers. So something that would like clip onto the outside of the Cybertruck that I could plug into and do hot water on demand. That's something I'm super interested in. I'm super interested in like real convenient large capacity water storage, because that's a headache when you're out doing overlanding and if you're overlanding in like a desert area or a mountain area, especially if it's like late summer and a lot of the creeks have run dry, and it's just like it's harder to get water, and it's more of a pain in the butt. So I probably wouldn't be a good client for this, because I would spend my money in different ways. But I think there are people that don't like to be in the outdoors or connect, they're not as outdoorsy, and they want something convenient and simple and comfortable. And I think that's what this is. So it's very individual. It's very personal, which is why I like the Cybertruck so much, because I think it's the ultimate canvas for adventure. And I just think it offers the flexibility to do so many different things because of its combination of the power and the payload. A lot of people don't appreciate payload, why that's such a big deal. But water is heavy. And so having 3,500 pounds of payload versus like 1,500 pounds or 2,000 pounds with a regular truck, and having 100 cubic feet of storage is huge for doing adventure travel. So yeah. So what would I do? I would do probably a bunch of smaller accessories and solutions, but I really like outdoor living and being outdoors. So I would use my bed to have portable canopies and tarps and pop-up structures that allows me to be outdoors for the day and spend most of my time outdoors and still be able to sleep outdoors when the weather is nice, but then have the Cybertruck I can jump in and sleep when it's too inclement to sleep outdoors comfortably, or it's raining, or raining, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's me. That's the way I would do it. The integrated ramp would probably not be able to hold the weight unless it was braced. So what you see real common with toy haulers that use a ramp, and then so toy haulers, meaning a camper that also lets you haul motorcycles and like side-by-sides and ATVs in it, they have ramps on them. And then what they do is some of them let you convert that ramp into an extended part of the living space. They're all braced. So they either have a cable that comes down, or they have legs that slide underneath it to let you brace the ramp and use it as an extension of the living space. So, and that would be really easy with the ramp. You just pull it out, and you could either make, or I'm sure there'll be aftermarket people that will make stands that will let you turn the ramp into like a bed extension. I guess it depends. We haven't really seen what it looks like, but if it's solid, if it's not like two small ramps for loading, but it's actually one like what they showed, it'd be really easy to brace that and then somehow use that as an extension of living space, I would think. I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen the full iteration, but yeah, for sure. I think I'm 100% sure people will find ways to integrate the ramp use the ramp for other things than just a ramp. I would be surprised if they don't. Oh, we have no room for trailer storage, but something. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. So that's why a lot of people use like teardrop trailers. Teardrop trailers are, let me see. I mean, probably everyone knows what they are. I don't know. A lot of people in here haven't done a lot of overlanding, but um, I'm trying to think of. This is so like this. This is a popular. Oh, I had to pull it up when it was. This is a popular brand of teardrop trailers, but these are designed to actually fit. Their profile is like as small as a car. Like the roof isn't really tall, and there's a bunch of. This is not really a particularly off-road one, but this is a really popular brand of teardrop campers. But and then slide-in campers that have. So there's slide-in campers that have a expandable roof. So when the roof is down, it's sort of flush with the roof line of your truck. And those are much easier to kind of find places to store them. And you can actually, like, the problem with the Cyberlandr, as far as is putting it in a garage, is how do you have to have a way to actually remove it into the garage, because there's no like wheels that it sits on. So what regular pickup truck campers do is they actually have stands that sort of sit outside the bed that you can lower and drive off, and the bed and the camper stays there. But you couldn't get those in a garage because they're too tall, generally speaking. But yeah, I don't think finding the space to store this is the problem. It's how do you get it into the space that's a problem, because you'd have to be able to like get your Cybertruck all the way in and somehow like pull it out. And I suppose I just don't know how. Yeah, the loading and unloading part of this, I'm puzzled how they would do that. How you would supposedly they're working on a system for doing that, but I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I know yeah. Yeah, I guess if it had lift points, you could store it on the ceiling, but man, it's 1,200 pounds. Jiminy Christmas. I certainly wouldn't want to be mounting 1,200-pound anything from my garage ceiling. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it. I mean, I think we kind of, yeah, covered it. And, yeah, that's it for now, I guess, on the Cyberlandr. Yeah, it was good catching up with everyone. Oh, I will probably start doing live streams on a regular basis. It feels like the pace of new stuff as we get closer to actually the line coming live, and I just think there's more momentum around Cybertruck, so there's more stuff to talk about, and so I'll probably start back with weekly live streams here starting this week. But unless something really happens, my plan is to start doing weekly streams again. So yeah, I guess thanks everyone for checking in, and we'll catch you next